Well, hello, I'm Bob Dendry, this is Boring Guy Plays, and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we're working on the city of Azure Delta. Now, as I record this, there has been an update yesterday to the game, which seems to have fixed a few things in relation to garbage especially. One thing I did particularly notice in the patch notes was this, and I quote, performance optimization to polygon area triangulation and validation. My partially technically savvy mind doesn't really understand what that means, but one thing I do notice is I've sort of been, scrolling around the city as you do before I started recording, and I did notice that those weird things, where what I'm calling like the LODs, especially of trees, were way out of whack, like showing like low resolution at completely the wrong place, things like that. It doesn't seem to be occurring now. They do seem to be showing high detail when they actually should be showing high detail, so I'm thinking potentially that fix might have something to do with that. But yeah, obviously we've got a very busy train station now, as you can see, which I think is really cool. And yeah, let's get started. Now, before we kick on too much with actually building and expanding the city, I do want to do a couple of fixes that have been pointed out by the community in the comments. First of all, LotDes has actually given me two corrections to make. First thing is that this double track section here through our rail yard could probably and should probably be used as our main line. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to redo this a little bit, shift our rail yard over, and yeah, hook everything up a little bit differently. And we will chuck it on pause. Don't want to bulldoze the building though. So what we are going to do is actually shift this building over, and we're going to try and line up that double track section with our main line. I think that's pretty decent. We also didn't look at the upgrades we can get in here, so let's have a quick look at those. Okay, so we can get an additional set of sidings here as well to increase our capacity and our maintenance hall. Oh, that looks really good. I really like that. It's a little bit expensive right now for us. It's like over half of our budget, but definitely I'm going to be wanting to put that down before too long. So we'll connect our through tracks to the rail yard directly. Same over here. Lovely. We'll need to connect our road back up as well. Do not like that at all. So we will use our road tool, or our terrain tools, I should say, to just level this out a little bit. I might do a little bit of smoothing all around, to be honest. Maybe not. All right, let's give it another go. Okay, and that looks much better now. And yeah, we can connect up like so. So we can unpause. Oh no, hang on. Nope. No, we're not doing that. All right, much better. So we can unpause now, and I'm just going to hook up the rest of the lines to our main. All right. Oh, well, and we've got these as well. Forgot about that. Just using our parallel tool there to build a little parallel section, though I think I might actually build it a little bit closer. Beautiful. Oh no. Oh no, that's not good. Okay, a little bit better. Wish you could turn that off. That would make that a little bit nicer, but no, unable to do it, unfortunately. which means I might actually switch this to just a single two-way. All right, that's not the nicest piece there, but it's usable. And we now have a rail yard where our mainline track actually passes through the rail yard. So I think that's pretty cool. And I think that is where we want to go. Second of all, again from Lot Des, we had the comment that potentially traffic couldn't actually go through this spooey, which obviously is not going to be evident to us right now because we don't have any traffic that will be going through. And initially I said, well, I think you're wrong. However, looking at it from above and looking at the line markings, see, these are a little bit different to what we have in Australia. So I probably misunderstood them. It's actually a merged lane marking, isn't it? Telling you to go into that lane. So yeah, it's actually correct. You can't get any through traffic here. So I'm thinking we hopefully can fix this up. Okay, so I was actually wrong. You can't actually adjust these lane markings on a per lane basis. So, do we have a 4-3? We do have a 4-3, so it should actually be okay. I think this will still work out. So I think if we do this, I think we can still make this work well. I don't like that there's a shared lane there, but I just don't think we're going to have an option right now, unless we get, well, that was a unsafe movement and a half there. I just don't think we're really going to have an option here unless we get per lane controls here, which potentially, modding will be launching soon, hopefully, and potentially, once we get to modding, this will be one of the first mods that we see. Other thing I'd like to see is not four-way stop signs or all-way stop signs. Like, I think having stop signs here is important because we don't really want traffic lights there. But, so I wonder if we can, in fact, just remove them. So no, I think it's all or nothing, isn't it? Oh no, actually, we can actually remove both. Okay, cool. So, ignore me. Okay, cool. All right, that's actually good. Perfect. That works well then. I think that's pretty much all we need. I also had a comment from Avaviel letting me know that we can build high voltage lines underground, which I was aware of, but I just didn't think to put them down. I think that these high voltage lines, they obviously are a little bit ugly, but they can be a cool landscape feature, but I don't think they work well where we have them to do that, like especially with having to shift them around to facilitate zoning and things like that. So we might actually shift these to be underground, just to free up some space and just make the city look a little bit better. I'm assuming this connects, yeah, if we connect it up there. So we can pretty much just copy the existing above ground lines we've got. And we will do the same over here. And of course, this is going to need to be sort of an ongoing thing because we haven't unlocked all of the area yet. So we're pretty much going to be going across to here. And then we're going to need to go above ground. I wonder if these actually connect to each other or if we need to make like a specific connection. I might see what happens if we do this. Neither end is complaining about not being connected, so I assume that means that the underground section does actually bridge between overground. So we'll just remove the overground sections then. Oh, hang on. We've got complaining about power. So is it not connected then? What have I done? Does this not count as a connection? My assumption would have been that it did. It looks like it does. Oh, but they're not bright blue, are they? Which is what indicates flow of power. So what have we done? What have we done here? Do we actually need to actually place a little stub to make a connection? Hang on, we're still underground. I've just built a little nothing there. Well, it's not. They're not complaining that there's no power connected to them, so I'm a bit baffled. What am I doing wrong here?
Approximately 10 hours later.
Oh, hey, we unlocked a boomtown. I've just been stuffing around trying to fix this power issue, and our city's been ticking along. And let's, pop over to the progression panel and see where we're at now. So we've unlocked textile fiber farming, a ban on heavy traffic that we can implement in certain districts, and advanced pollution management. Okay, so we've obviously unlocked some more development points as well, which I do want to have a look at, but I really need to fix this power thing. Because I don't know what is happening, honestly. You can color me confused. Okay, hang on, that's showing power now. Hang on. Okay, power's flowing now, so I don't know. I guess I just needed to rebuild the connection and it will go? I guess. We're not having any exported, but I wonder if that's just because we're too close to our... too close to our capacity limit to export. Okay, so I don't know, that was a bit weird. Just needed to rebuild it at the end and it worked. One thing I have noticed as well is we've got quite a lot of people sitting here parking on this sort of main road. Obviously, I would say to go in and work at our forestry area. So what we might do, we might actually carve out a little bit of this area and build some parking for them. Obviously, it's a long road here. It's probably not the safest to be walking along this road. There'd probably be heavy trucks using it from time to time as well. So we will... There's Daisy. Oh, it's Daisy. Cute. We will adjust the area. In fact, just before we do that, let me just reacquaint myself with the parking area. We probably just want a small parking lot. Actually, maybe a medium one. That we can fit in a medium one on this side here. I think that should be big enough. Yes. And in fact, oh, nice. That's probably fine, to be honest. Like, it's not the best. But parking lots for these sort of facilities do tend to be a little bit crazy. So I might come back to it and fix it, but at the moment, it's all right. And we've got a harvester also going out to pick some trees. Pick some trees? Is that the terminology you'd use? I don't know. Now, last episode, we obviously unlocked this area with the potential design to build our rail yard here. It didn't end up happening, as we know. Now, we've got a large area that we could potentially build a forestry industry in, but I don't know if we'll do that. Obviously, we've already got a forestry industry over here. So I'm not 100% sure what we're going to do. One thing I will note is this is reasonably flat. So there's potentially the the opportunity to build, part of our city here. And the title of this video is the 6 Ps, and that is prior planning prevents piss poor performance. And I'm hoping if we can work on getting a nice big area here fixed up, we can, plan out, almost master plan, I guess, some new residential, commercial and office areas that will help drive the city development a little bit further. So I think we might just focus on leveling out a good section here, and then we'll smooth out afterwards. But this is actually relatively flat already, so there's not a heap of work we need to do here. And we've also got the rail line there, which we could potentially flatten out a little pad and also get a station there as well, which would obviously give us some actual suburban transportation using trains rather than this just being an intercity route as it is at the moment. And we need to work out where we're going to have our connections. We've sort of missed a trick here, I think, having this road connect up just as a T, because this could have been sort of quite a bit of a primary movement. So I might just redo this. We'll just pretend this didn't happen. Might pause to see if we can potentially stop those buildings from being destroyed. And we will, just see if we can make a decent connection there. It looks all right, the connection we've got now. It looks like we're probably not going to be able to fix those offices though, unfortunately. Sorry, they're not offices actually. They are mixed density. Mixed use, I should say, I believe. Right? Yeah. No, so it looks like we are going to lose some. Sad. But we will rebuild. We will rebuild. So this has now become a bit of a primary through movement. So we need to hopefully plan to... that isn't even good, actually. It could be worse, but it would be better if it joined up sort of more on what's Elm Street that was High Street, and it just keeps changing names. You are High Street. Stop that. But there's potential that we could maybe do something with High Street and have it head over there. Because once again, no cul-de-sacking. We want this to be relatively easy to do. Or can we have a pillar? Is a pillar not possible there? That is quite silly. Yeah, so we might go ahead and reroute High Street then onto what is now Fawn Street. And we can then make this another connection across the river. Okay, once again, no pylons. So this is like just an anti-gravity bridge at this point. Let's try converting this to a truss bridge. That's much nicer. Yeah, okay. We'll do that over here as well. Yeah, that looks really nice. This one might be actually a little bit low to be a truss bridge, to be honest. Yeah, it actually doesn't look too nice. Actually, it looks a bit strange. This one, though, not fantastic either, but it looks a lot better than the one there. I'm going to leave it for the moment because we don't really have anything else that we can do. But yeah, that might be on the list of things to fix up later on down the line. Now over here, we've got a really good opportunity to build some quite high density gridding. I'm not going to use the grid tool once again, because I think it's not quite there. I think in terms of the use, we have overlapping items. So we're clashing with the bridge pillar. If we do that, okay, never mind. We were actually using the bridge. which was not really what we wanted. Okay, that is better. And we just need to plan out our gridding a little bit better. So might do a bit of a wider grid here. And that is not square. So I'm going to redo that. I hate that. You don't... Hang on. Is there... Can we... Yeah, okay. We are, once again, trying again. I'm going to turn off... existing geometry? No, what are these? Are they guidelines? Potentially, yeah. Okay, so we're going to turn off guidelines because they were sort of clashing a little bit, I think, with what we were working on. And that allows us to keep our grid nice. So these are quite large, 200 meter block lengths we're going to go for here. And... oh, it actually works out, though I think because of this section being having the retaining wall, I think it breaks a little tiny bit. Let's see if we can fix that, if we can raise the terrain just a little tiny bit. Level it off so it's a little bit nicer. No, it's still not perfect. So I'm not sure why it's doing that, but it is what it is. Overall, the grid itself is pretty nice, I think. And then we have... what do we got here? 112 meters, which is a bit of a rando size. Probably should have measured this one out a little bit as well. And I think what we might do is have an alley in the middle of these. Which is not going to quite line up. So how much are these? One thing I really don't like is we don't have cell lengths, which there is a mod for. I did have a look at it, but I opted not to get it. Because to be honest, I wasn't really seeing anyone talk about it, like on Reddit, anything like that. And hopefully someone corrects me in the comments here, but the website it was hosted on looked a little bit sketch. So I just opted to wait. So if you've used it and it's been all right for you, please let me know, because I think I would like to use it. But I just wasn't... I think it was Mod Cities 2 was the name of the website that it was hosted on. So we're going to sort of snap to the grid length. Is that going to be better there instead? How many squares do we have? I'm just trying to work this all out. So apologies. Is that going to be right? Oh, that's right, actually. So if we have 11 squares on either side, it actually works out and splits it in half. Okay, so we've got a nice little start of grid there. We might reserve some of this space for sort of greenery. So we might have our grid sort of go off on like a 45 or so. I'm not going to do that quite yet, but I think that's probably what the next step is going to be. But yeah, we've got some massive demand for commercial and office, and a little bit of low density demand, which I don't think will fit in here. This will probably be a medium density type sort of situation. But we've also got people who are abandoning buildings. For what reason? Due to poor education appears to be really the only reason. Looks like they're reasonably happy with the area, but they don't like the education. So let's have a look at our schools. Our high school has like no students. Our elementary school is actually not less than, a little bit over half full. So I guess we could potentially look to get a new elementary school in here. Because I guess you're probably happier to travel further for a high school, aren't you, rather than a primary school. So that probably makes sense. So we can, and yeah, if you look at the coverage of the high school, I guess that's okay. There's no red, whereas elementary school, very red. So we might be able to, I was going to say, we might be able to squeeze one in our new area, but the alleys break it. But I think we're okay to get rid of alleys to facilitate specific sort of important buildings. So we might get an elementary school in here. It's not quite centered. Can we turn off snapping? Not really. Road required. Oh, because it's the wrong way. Hang on. So if we hold it here and then turn off. Okay, cool. I want to try and get this centered. Cool. All right. Perfect. What's it complaining about? Backed up sewer. Not enough water. Why? Yes, because water lines not go under bridges. Which is, I mean, I feel like you could definitely fit in water pipes under that bridge. Can we just make a connection like so? No, slope is too steep. Okay. What about over here? It's probably even more slope too steep, isn't it? All right. We can just connect straight across like that. We've probably raised the riverbed a little tiny bit there, but is what it is. Is what it is. Cool. So our new elementary school will start operating now. Will we fit things in? Yeah, but not that, which is unfortunate. But we could potentially, in fact, we might do that. I'm going to just get rid of this section of grid. This is going to be reserved for a future sort of school precinct that might have a high school in there as well. Cool. So time for, in fact, mixed housing, is that high density? It actually is high density, it looks like. I'm just judging that by the sort of windows on it. So in that case then, we might get some high density here. A bit of medium density as well. Probably surrounding the school, actually. Probably makes sense. And then a bit of commercial, and we might expand the grid a little bit in this direction as well and get some office space in, or we could just put some office space here. Yes, that is what we're going to do, in fact. Cool. So we've got a new little area. We have housing, or at least medium and high density housing to support new residents coming in, and this should hopefully work out for us. Now, as we've moved our rail yard, we do have a bit of spare space here that we're not doing anything with right now. And we also have a fair bit of demand for industrial. And I think these are probably uses that synergize well together, to be honest. Having a rail yard here is a bit of an industrial use. And hopefully we can get in a nice bit of grid here as well. I wonder, have we unlocked cargo stations yet as well? Yeah, so we've got potentially some room here that we could lay that down as well. Oop. Did not mean to do that, but I don't think I'd noticed the lens noise before doing that. So let's flatten out some more area here. And I'm wondering how we would go with getting that terminal in. I keep doing that. It's because I've been playing Transport Fever 2, and in Transport Fever 2, the M button is for rotating things, whereas here it goes to the map. So my bad. We can... Oh, how does this look? So it's interestingly, it's a single track sectioned. And... Oh, and that's actually a terminus. I suppose as it says, it's a terminus. It's not a through connection. Can we... Okay, we can increase the capacity and add more trains in there. But it's not going to go through. That's all right. That actually works out for us. I was planning on that us having to somehow shoot a train connection through there. But no, we're actually okay. That's good. And we can't go through at all. Cool. Okay. So that's pretty decent, actually. And we need to create cargo railway routes, same as we would with passenger routes. So that's cool. Not the nicest connection, but it'll do. So we'll get our road connection set up. And we should be able to build decent, so a little bit of griddage here and some on the other side here as well. Oh, hang on. Ooh. I think that might actually be joining that as like a level crossing. So we're a little bit too close there. So what are we looking at here? We're looking at 88 by 128-ish. Yeah, okay. And that's not quite working, is it? This is not going fantastically. As you can see, we're not quite lining up with our zone lengths properly, which is a bit gross, a bit ugly. But it is going to allow us to get a fair amount of gridding in here. Which I guess is what you want, isn't it? I think that should be all we need for the moment. I will get a cargo railway set up as well. And we can send that off to Clarendon. Is that working? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Be great if we could have one going around the other way, but we don't. At the moment, it's just going to be a single route. That is good, and that gives us, or our industrial areas, somewhere to be shipping their goods to. As for this, we're probably just going to grid most of this as industrial. I might save a little bit of an area for a fire station because it's probably important to have fire access in an area like this. Just a little firehouse. Might even be able to fit it in there, hey. Yeah, so we'll, sorry. We're getting rid of you. Lovely. I mean, not lovely. Industrial is a necessity, but definitely not lovely. But it's good that we've got it in there. We definitely do need a little bit more lower density residential. I'm wondering if we could maybe establish a little bit of an area over here to potentially cover that. I've also got a lot of demand for office still as well. So obviously those 3 blocks of offices were nowhere near enough. All right, little bit of new gridding in. Going to take out that U-turn. I think we've got some area here we can get some low density residential in. Our grades aren't too bad. And what we might do here is, rather than having a traditional type grid, we'll actually do this as a bit more of a, what you see in sort of newer suburbs, a bit more curvy with not many through connections. And that should hopefully get some decent results for us. So I think we've got a decent area here. We've got a reasonable amount of gridding that we can put down as well. And to increase the walkability of this suburb as well, what we'll do is actually add in some pedestrian paths to sort of bridge some of these gaps between, I guess, the connections we've purposely missed. So we'll get some pathways in first. Oh, that's broken that. Okay, I did see it was doing something weird. So we might just give that another try. So I think we're good now to start laying down low density residential with maybe a few little bits of maybe office and low density commercial on this main road. I'm not sure if we have power going across here actually. I need to keep an eye out for that. No, we don't have power. So I'm going to pause while I finish off this gridding and then we'll get power connected up. Zoning, I meant, of course, not gridding. Okay, so power. Oh no, we do, actually no, we do have a power connection. But we are out of power we're producing, so guess those don't actually connect up because I thought they would. Potentially we need to get a transformer in there. I don't know if we can have multiple connections here, you see. It doesn't look like you can. So I don't know. Let's just see if that will start importing power. Okay, never mind. Okay. So I think it just sort of broke a little bit because I had multiple connections like connecting to each other. So we should start to import some power now. We're importing a little bit, and that is meaning that we are starting to sort of cover off those electricity shortfalls as they come up, maybe, because we've still got shortfalls. Can we upgrade this with an additional generator or something like that? No, we cannot, which is unfortunate, but what have we got available here? We've literally just got the small power plant and some wind turbines at present, so we might see if we can get a few wind turbines down. Maybe sort of up here. It's not a massive amount of production, but if we get maybe 2 or 3 of these down, they will serve us while we sort of wait to potentially unlock some bigger / better power plants. And what do we need to do here? So they need a low voltage connection, it looks like. So we need to connect these up to a transformer somewhere. Okay. We might need to build out a... Can we get a transformer in here? We can. So what I might do... we'll get a little dirt road here. Get our transformer down. We don't even need a transformer. If we connect roads up here, then we can just connect these directly to the road. Which, I mean, doesn't seem the most realistic, but I guess we'll be working within what the game provides us. Cool. So if we connect these up and then we connect this to town, we'll be good and we'll be producing that power that we need. In fact, we might build that 45 that I was talking about so we can plan out for that grid. And then we'll make the connection from there. All right, so we should have more power coming into the network now. So we should be all covered off. Yep, I'm seeing no complaints about power right now. Excellent. So our new industrial area that we built by our rail yard has been quite successful, it looks like. It's filled out and we still have massive demand for industrial. So I think we'll continue gridding out, probably grid all the way to the coast or as far as we can get without sort of causing flooding, which we're good at doing that, to be honest. So I think if we level it out to this level here, we should be good. And if we just soften it, we're fine there. Yeah, no issues there whatsoever. And that'll just allow us to fit a little bit extra grid in. No, none of that's good. Cool. And these people have just moved in and someone has already died. That's unfortunate. I do apologize. Alright, time to visit the progression panel, I think, because there's a few things I would like to get unlocked. First of all, I think we're going to go with an emergency battery station, so this will help us out when we have a sudden loss of electricity. That pushes us towards the solar power plant, which we do want to unlock, but not quite yet, because we probably don't have enough points to move ahead and do that. As well as that, I do want to unlock colleges, potentially universities, but let's just have a look and see what else is available. Fire watch towers would be nice because we are starting to get a few forest fires, and we actually did have one in our forestry area a short time ago, so we'll do that. Welfare office might be good. Obviously, we have had a little bit of demand for low-rent housing, so potentially this option might allow us to support those citizens even more. And I do want to unlock large parks. So we'll need to unlock park maintenance building, and then we can unlock large parks. And that will, yeah, hopefully help us out to increase the desirability of some of those areas that we've just built. We can definitely get a large park in this sort of area here. And speaking of this area here, I do want to complete this grid transition, but it looks like we might not quite have enough space to do so. So we might need to unlock a couple more tiles, which is okay because we've got 9 we can unlock now. So I'm thinking we can unlock these 2 tiles here to complete that grid transition, which we're actually going to head sort of into the mountains here, which is not what I thought we would be doing, but I think it's okay. These are not massive grades, but definitely I think they are starting to get a little bit less manageable. We need to go a little bit further, in fact. And it looks like we are perfectly aligned there. So we've got this little area here where we can transition our grid out. We do have a little bit of demand for fire in our new area here, so that's good. We can get a little fire station there. In terms of crime, we do have a little bit of crime over here as well. So once again, we can just sort that out by getting a new police station built. Looking at education, we're now pretty good with elementary, though we've got a little bit of demand here. We could possibly solve that by busing our students over to our existing our existing elementary school, I should say, over there, and we could possibly also help solve this by busing through to this one over here from these areas. In terms of high school, yeah, looking pretty good. A few people aren't attending, but college is where we can definitely increase our game a little bit, as we don't have any college capacity right now. So we've got this little bit of an area that we've built up as a potential future. I think I've probably just made us not able to build that children's clinic. Unfortunate, but hey, we said it was going to be an educational precinct, and it is. So there's that. I also want to move this a little bit as well. I want to turn off a road, I believe. And we need to do it like this so it doesn't flip the wrong way. And it did flip the wrong way. Let's try that again. Okay, how does that look? Looks all right. And can we expand this? We can expand it partially. Okay. Cool. But we've got our first college down, so that will help our residents increase their education levels a little bit more than what they've currently got. And that's always a good thing. Our industrial demand is continuing to go through the roof, which we're probably starting to run out of room over here to build further industrial. And in terms of offices, we've probably still got some room we could potentially build some offices on. So I might just, before we finish off, just build a little bit more grid over here to hopefully help out with our office demand. Just need to remember how wide these are. It was 212, was it? Done. Just 200. Okay, cool. All right, a bit more office in there, which should hopefully take care of that demand. And just one last thing I would like to do this episode, and that is to build in a couple more bus routes to take our residents from our new areas to the amenities at our sort of older areas. I'm thinking our existing bus route, we should actually extend that to go to our college, because that is really our only college we're going to have at the moment. So we'll get a few more bus stops placed to take care of that. And we've got overlapping items. Obviously, this is a little bit too close to our road. We'll just back it off a tiny bit. Might actually get a bus stop in front of the primary school as well. Might actually move that a little bit up as well. We're fine there. Maybe not. Okay. Cool. So this new route will be now taking our students to college, and will also act as a bit of a feeder for students in these sort of high density areas to get to a primary school as well. Next, I'm going to set up a new route that will take our residents from our new sort of more free-form residential area over to our school district in Palmer Square. Cool. So for this one, we will sort of make our way through the burbs. And then from there, we're pretty much just going to join on with our existing bus route. Potentially, actually, we could expand that route to head to our industrial area to take our residents to work. Because this is a bit of a shorter route, it probably makes sense that we could use this one to do that. So I think we will still go around, go to these stops, but then we might sort of head off, maybe actually get another stop in over here in the burbs, potentially. We'll move this stop to over there. I've dragged the wrong stops, haven't I? Yep, sure have. That's Route 100. That's the one we weren't wanting to do this to. So I'm going to pretend this didn't happen. And what we will do is we will go to our public transport view. Change the name and the color of this bus route so that we can see it a little bit more easily. So let's just redo that. Okay, better. We've got a little bit of congestion here. Actually, we've got a lot of congestion here. We could maybe solve that by getting a new interchange over here to serve this area a bit more. But I think we're okay for the moment. One final bus route I want to get is probably one that goes from our industrial area through Sunrise Springs, through Concord Bluff, and then onto the college. So sort of a similar route, but just obviously servicing different areas. And there we go. How many buses we got in service now? 25 of 25. So we probably need to build an additional depot or an additional shed to increase our vehicles in use. Yes. I said that was the last thing, but I actually do want to just get in a final sort of large park here in this area that we've set aside for the parky type uses. There we go. Okay, cool. Well, there we go. We've got a lot of building out of the way in this episode, and I think it's all been reasonably well planned. I mean, I am seeing some sort of cliffy stuff on this view here, but as opposed to the last couple of episodes where things were sort of a bit scattershot, just putting stuff, you know, places for reasons, I think we've done a good job sort of getting this a little bit better planned. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you have, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get a ding to your device the next time I post a video. You can find links to my social media in the description, so please jump on there, like, follow, subscribe, do all that wonderful stuff. Big shout out to my Founders Club patron, Caleb. Caleb, thank you so much for helping to make this content possible. And if you out there viewing would like to support the channel, you can do so via Patreon or via my new YouTube memberships available on the channel. But until next time, I'm Bob Dendry. This is Cities Skylines 2. Thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.